It empowers a man to be able to take risks, stepping out in faith, even when it seems impossible and uncertain. Do you know that the gift of faith can be applied in your business? It can be applied in your endeavors to take giant steps to get things done. But the fear of failure is what keeps us bound. There are some of us that the businesses that we do have no business being where it is at the moment. It should be a lot higher than where we are at the moment. But because we don't know how to take steps and take risk, even though there is something in our hearts that is telling us that something can change concerning you, the moment has come. Some of you, if you look back, you will see some of those moments. That there were times when you felt something in you just rose up, and it just felt like, this is you who ordinarily you can't expect 50K. But you are just believing God that there is somebody that if you meet and you talk to, that the person can give you 5 million. That you can actually send a message or call the person that I want to see you, I want to show you what I'm doing, and this is what I need. And you think that the person can even give you 10, maybe even 20 million. But after that feeling came, after a while, you watch Nigerian film, you ate food in the house, you didn't brood over it, then the faith died. So you couldn't send the message again. Who has been in that kind of situation before? That's the gift of faith. It rises in certain moments. What you should have done is to take it and take actions and speak it into reality. In the name of Jesus, you call the man's name. When I call you, you will hear me. When you hear me, you will respond. We will do this business and it will prosper. It rises in moments, but because we don't know what to do, you leave it. Say, okay, by tomorrow it will work. It doesn't work every day. It comes as He wills. And when you miss those moments, you will have to wait for the stirring of the waters again. Because some of those people, in those moments, after they have finished giving you the money, that's when they will now say, what did I do? What? How did I even believe you to give you that money in the first place? It's too late, Oga. We have invested the money. Just wait for your profit. Take the risks. When you notice the water is stirred, don't ask how. How will you survive? How will you come out? Jump in. Examples of the gift of faith. Hebrews chapter 11. I want to use Hebrews 11 connects both the Old Testament and the New. I usually would like to go to the Old and then come to the New. But since this connects it, let's just... Hebrews chapter 11 verse 7. Please help me. Let's be fast if you can help me. Thank you. By faith, Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet. He has not seen these things before. Moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by which he condemned the world, and he became a heir of the righteousness, which is what? By faith. Noah. No, stay there. Don't worry. I'll tell you the next I will move to. Noah, being warned of God. Even though he has not seen these things manifest before. It has never happened. What Noah was preaching was going to happen had never happened. But he didn't look at the circumstances. He stood his ground. And the concept of faith is now was functioning in the life of Noah, but that faith is now was not that the thing he was saying happened immediately. In fact, it was that it delayed beyond reasonable doubt. It would have been enough for Noah to turn his back. But the gift of faith was what kept this man believing that that thing that God has said, standing upon his word, will come to pass. Verse 8. 8 to 10. He said, by faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, And he went out not knowing whither he went. By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, and heirs with him of the same promise. For he looked for a city which had foundations, whose builder and maker is who? Abraham left his house. He left his comfort zone. He left the place that he has always known, because God asked him to leave, not even knowing where he was going to. Sometimes that's how faith works. You may not have the full picture. Somebody is saying, wait, do you really know where? No, I don't have the full picture, but I know where we are going to. I know that it will not end like this. God has asked me to move. My responsibility is to move. Some of you, what's keeping you where you are now, even though there has been a stirring in your spirit, what has kept you is that you have been too smart. You have been too intelligent. You are trying to calculate. Yes, it's good to calculate, but there's a calculation that is at your detriment. Because you have calculated your way out of the passion and the hunger to do unusual things for God. At the end of your calculation, what your brain came up with is that it doesn't make sense. I was listening to a man of God yesterday. I was watching one of his it was like more like a documentary, a discussion and all, and he was talking about a business that he began when the Lord asked him to leave the US and come back to Nigeria. And when he came back to Nigeria, at first when he began, it was looking like everything was going to fail. And so he decided to just forget about it and focus on ministry. And he just realized that no, God will have him do this by counsel and all that. So he decided to step out. Upon stepping out, what they planned on doing as the company, as the organization, okay, it was when they began, in fact, almost immediately, he ran into loss of about $1 million. I know what will happen to you. $1 million. I know what will happen to some of us. If you are not in the hospital already, you are about to go to the hospital. Or you are thinking of killing yourself for $1 million. The cattle in 1,000 hills, they are his. Our God is more than enough. Those failures that you are having is not a test, it's not a proof that what God said is not going to work. See, the proof that what God has said will happen is that even if you fail, you will still stay there. That's how you will show that you believe what God said. Then when the man decided to start the company that he began, when he started that company, he said, in fact, they had to begin to do something else, not what he actually thought they were going to do. He ended up not doing the one they were supposed to do and started doing something else. At a point, that company was worth over $50 million. Over $50 million. Who against hope believed in hope? You started something, it died, and because it died, you want to die with it. Say, let me go. Go to where? Hebrews 11:33. I like this one. 33 to 35. Hebrews 11. Who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weaknesses were made strong, waxed valiant in flight, turned to the flight the armies of the aliens. I like this part. He said, women received their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance that they might obtain a better resurrection. Can we just stay on that? Women received their dead raised to life. When? How? Again. It means that these people came to a point in their lives where, you know, they say it is not over until it's over, right? You've heard that word before? It's not over until what? You know what this statement is saying here? Even when it is over, it's not over. Because they were the dead. They say they will not let the dead go. Every other person says it's impossible. These people say, we refuse you dying. The Bible said women receive their dead back to life. What? Again. It is true that it's not over until it is over. Some people will stop there. I wanted to tell you, don't stop at that point. Tell them that even when it is over, it's still not over. God can still do something when it is over. Was it not Jairus who came to Jesus and said, my daughter lies sick, almost dying, come and help me? And Jesus said, let us go. And while they were going, someone else came and said, don't disturb the master. It is over. She has died. And then he was going to Jesus and said to say, they say she has died. And Jesus said, I said I'm coming to your house. It doesn't matter what has died. All we need is that resurrection should visit. So even in the worst state, when Lazarus had died, after 4 days, 4 days, Jesus came. And when they came to meet Jesus, they said, Master, if you had come earlier, if you had. Some of us are at that point now. If something had happened. And Jesus said, take me to the tomb. To do what? Say, if you had, I'm not in the past. I was not the resurrection. I am the resurrection and the life. He said, he that believeth on me, though he were dead, yet shall he what? Because it's not over even when it's over. It's the gift of faith that puts us in that place where we believe even when there is no reason to believe. The Bible was speaking concerning Paul in the book of Acts. The Bible said when all hope was lost, nobody thought it would be possible to live, Paul came and said, be of good cheer. That's Acts 27 from verse 13. We can't read it, but just write it down. Paul said, be of good cheer. So for faith, we have the saving faith, we have the living faith. We have faith as the fruit of the Spirit, and then we have faith as the gift of the Spirit.